she texted, "Relax, it's only coffee with a friend." I read it twice, my chest tightening, a cold weight settling in my stomach. Only coffee? I wanted to reply calmly, like a man who trusted, like a man who believed. But trust had grown brittle over the months, each lie, each omission, carving tiny fractures in our lives. So I answered, "Then ask his wife." The words were sharper than I intended, slicing through the soft morning haze like a blade. She didn't respond for a while. I imagined her pause, the way she might have smirked, rolled her eyes, perhaps thinking I was overreacting. I had seen it before, the casual dismissal, the practiced indifference that told more than words ever could. I let my silence sit like a shadow between us, a quiet accusation she couldn't ignore. The day went on, normal in appearance. I went to work, exchanged nods with colleagues, laughed when needed, all while a storm raged beneath the surface. Every message, every casual mention of this friend, gnawed at me. Something didn't fit. The timing, the sudden enthusiasm, the secretive tone when she thought no one was watching. I noticed everything. The faint scent of cologne that wasn't mine. The quick glances at her phone, face lighting up too easily. My mind traced patterns like a detective mapping a crime scene. By evening, I knew I couldn't confront her without proof. Words without evidence were empty, easily denied. So I began documenting. Texts, timestamps, locations. Each detail a thread, each thread a line of a map leading to the truth. And as I mapped, I watched her carefully, waiting for the moments she forgot herself, the moments when her story didn't line up, when her eyes betrayed the calm she wore like armor. The next morning, she left the apartment earlier than usual. I noticed the soft click of the door, the whisper of her heels fading down the hall. I waited, pretending to sip coffee, pretending not to watch the shadows of her absence stretch across the living room. But my mind was alert, tracing every possibility, every hidden step. I knew she thought I was calm. She believed I didn't notice. That would be her first mistake. Around noon, her phone buzzed. A message that lit up the screen and disappeared in seconds. I didn't need to touch it. I knew it wasn't about groceries, wasn't about errands. I had been reading these patterns too long to ignore them. I traced the location, subtle signs, habits she couldn't hide. Each one was a clue, a thread pulling me closer to understanding her intentions, to the truth she thought she could bury beneath casual words and polite smiles. When she returned, she laughed softly, a practiced melody she believed masked her nervousness. I greeted her, careful, neutral, letting the silence do its work. "Coffee with a friend," she said, as if the words themselves absolved her. I didn't respond immediately. I let the air between us grow thick, heavy with unspoken questions. Then I spoke, quiet, deliberate. "I hope his wife knows you'll be meeting him today." Her smile faltered, the first crack in the mask she wore so effortlessly. She searched my face, seeking anger, drama, anything to dismiss me. But I was calm, silent, steady. Calmness can be sharper than fury, a blade that cuts through pretense. She didn't answer. The room was filled only with the sound of our breathing, the quiet ticking of a clock marking the seconds she had underestimated, the seconds I had spent waiting, watching, planning. Later that evening, she mentioned the coffee again, casual, unaware of the storm she had invited into our home. I watched her, every gesture, every inflection, knowing that patience had become my weapon. I didn't need to yell, didn't need confrontation. The truth, when revealed at the right moment, would strike harder than any argument. Days passed. The patterns emerged clearly, messages, missed calls, subtle lies that no longer fit together. And then it happened. She forgot one detail, a slip so small it could have gone unnoticed. I held it, silent, until the moment she could not recover, until the world she had built on deception trembled under the weight of evidence. I confronted her finally, not with anger, but with certainty. "I know," I said. My voice calm, unwavering. No theatrics. No pleading. Just the truth. Her defenses crumbled instantly. That practiced smile, that carefully measured composure, it shattered like glass. She realized too late that I had been watching, documenting, understanding. The quiet strength she had underestimated now held all the power. And in that silence I reclaimed it, not for revenge, not for pride, but for the respect that had always been mine. The lesson was clear. Deception cannot survive patience, and truth, when handled with care, always wins.